Joshua here. Welcome back to the channel. A lot of you guys were very interested in the video I did on the unboxing of the brand new 2021 MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. So I figured I would kind of expand on that and do this video. Everything that you are seeing has been recorded, edited, and spliced together with the M1 chip. I'm doing everything on this computer. It has completely replaced all of my other computers. It is my daily user. It is my workflow. It is my everything. Fun, content creation, ingestation. But what I really wanted to harp on today was a lot of people give Apple crap because they've been using Intel processors with really bad graphics, and so you can't game on them. Once you get in the Apple ecosystem, you're kind of locked in there. Well, I'm gonna tell you that's not the case anymore. I'm using the M1 chip on the brand new MacBook Pro. Every program that I use on a daily basis has flawlessly worked with Rosetta 2 translation. There's not been any game so far that I've ran into that I have not been able to play. Actually, a lot of the games on the Steam library that say they're only 32-bit, which Apple stopped supporting several years ago, are running. Not only that, but they are running at 60 frames per second or higher. Now this does have a really long story intro, I apologize, but why not? Let's watch through it. And if you want to see more of this game, please comment down below. Don't be afraid to comment. I see everyone's comments, and I will reply. Let's load a new game. Whoops, back. New game. Give me story. I like story-driven games. Like, I don't want to sit there and shoot around and do the same thing over and over again. Like, I want to be involved. I want a story. That's just me.
The year was 2027. Advances in biotechnology were helping people improve their physical and mental abilities to an amazing degree. Provided, of course, they had enough money. A new breed of people was emerging, half human, half machine. And in Detroit, at least, not everyone was happy to see it. I'd just landed a job as head of security at Sarif Industries, a cutting-edge biotech firm. David Sarif himself handpicked me for the job. Said he needed me to keep his people safe. My ex, Megan Reed, was one of them. Brilliant neuroscientist, Megan had found a way to make augmentation safe and affordable for everyone. All she had to do was present her research to Congress. But the night before her big meeting, my security measures failed. A team of Black Op mercenaries stormed into Sarif headquarters, massacring everyone in sight. 3 of the mercs were heavily augmented walking tanks. Their mission? Take out Megan and her team. I tried to stop them. Their leader tossed me through a plate glass wall. Last thing I heard as his bullet slammed into my brain was Megan's dying scream. I should have died with her. Only I didn't. High-end military-grade enhancements saved my life. The best augmentation Sarif's money could buy. It took me half a year to get a feel for him. Should have taken longer. But 6 months into my recovery, Sarif Industries was attacked again. This time, by a radical group of pro-human purists. Violent, militant, and fanatically opposed to human augmentation. They claim to be members of Humanity Front, a non-profit organization that wanted the UN to limit biotechnology research. The thugs broke into Sarif's factory and found machinists working overtime on a top-secret military augment called the Typhoon. Sarif sent me in to retrieve it, and when I did, I found one of the so-called purists next to it, wired with cerebral implants, trying to download its classified specs. Obviously, something more was going on. The AUG killed himself before I could question him. Sarif ordered me to dig deeper, so with the help of Frank Pritchard, Sarif's head of cybersecurity, I did. Turns out a second hacker had been controlling the AUG's actions from somewhere off-site. Pritchard and I tracked his signal to a secret FEMA internment camp in Detroit. The Black Op mercenaries were there. The same mercs who'd left me for dead 6 months before. Figured they'd try again when they saw me. Wasn't so easy for them this time. I took out the tank named Barrett. Even got him to give me a new lead. A penthouse apartment in China. Of course, we both knew it would be a trap in the end. Hengsha Island, China. Home to a city so crowded, they had to build a second city on top of it. Trying to find clues in Hengsha wouldn't be easy. Lucky for me, I wasn't alone. Farida Malik, Seraph Industries' ace pilot, had lived in Hengsha before. A good person to have on your side. She knew enough about the place to get me around. Malik dropped me in the lower city, close to the penthouse Barrett had told me about. Bell Tower Associates, a private security firm under contract to the Chinese government, had agents tossing the suite when I arrived. Just not for the reason I'd been expecting. Turns out the man who lived there was a criminal hacker named Van Bruggen. The same hacker who'd been remotely controlling the AUG in Seraph's factory. Van Bruggen's panicked decision to force the man to commit suicide had been a mistake. Now his mercenary partners were gunning for him, and I needed to find him before they did. Locating Van Bruggen meant playing nice with the Triads, Hengsha's organized crime lords. They had the hacker holed up inside a low-rent capsule hotel. By the time I found him, Van Bruggen had no qualms giving up the woman who hired him. Zhao Yunru, president of the Taiyang Medical Corporation. According to Van Bruggen, Zhao wanted to monopolize the augmentation industry and had hired Black Op mercenaries to destabilize her competition. Seraph Industries was at the top of her list. To prove this, I needed to get inside TYM and grab a surveillance hologram off a server. I suspected Van Bruggen was hiding something when he told me this, but nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. Megan wasn't dead. She and her 4 best researchers had been kidnapped, spirited away somewhere while their kidnappers made it look like they were dead. Desperate to learn more, I confronted Zhao in her penthouse. She claimed to be a pawn in a bigger plan, and hinted at a group so powerful it controlled global interests at a whim. Then she slipped into a panic room and hit the alarm, forcing me to make a very quick exit. I figured Zhao was lying, but part of her confession made sense. David Seraph had been worried about his people. So worried, he'd required all of them to have subdermal locator devices surgically implanted.
That's some Elon Musk
The
stuff.
GPOs would have been broadcasting the day of the attack. But Zhao said a single call to Picus, the world's leader in global 24-hour satellite news, and turn those signals off. I needed to fly to Picus headquarters in Montreal if I wanted to learn more. Eliza Cassan, Picus Communications' First Lady of News. Malik thought I was reaching when I told her Eliza was involved in this. The world's most famous news anchor, working with a mercenary hit squad. But when I confronted Cassan in her office, she freely admitted to jamming Detroit's satellites the night Megan's team had been taken. Said she's just been following her commands. I suspected she wanted to say more. But Black Op mercenaries showed up looking to shut us both down. And just like that, the Eliza I'd been talking to disappeared. The mercs were led by an augmented killer I crossed paths with twice before.
I think she looks like Rihanna.
Fedorova, a woman who'd made silence her best friend. She waited for me to track Eliza's transmission to a secret server room underneath the Picus complex, then jumped me from behind. A deadly fight ensued. I made sure she never moved silently again. With Fedorova down and no one left to keep Eliza quiet, she reappeared. Turns out Picus's First Lady of News wasn't a lady at all.
She's a man.
She was a sophisticated AI program, engineered to monitor data streams and control what people believed. Eliza told me the mercs had brought in a Humanity Front doctor named Isaiah Sandoval to remove the scientist's implanted tracking devices while Detroit's satellites were down. She also told me to speak to David Seraph if I wanted to learn more. By the time Malik and I got back to Detroit, tensions between normal and augmented citizens had reached a flashpoint. Riots were breaking out in several cities. The UN was being urged to intervene. Seraph was trying hard to convince Hugh Darrow, the inventor turned philanthropist who'd once been a leading proponent of enhancement technologies, to help stop a possible regulatory vote. Seraph had a lot riding on Darrow. Megan's discovery would have given millions of people the chance to evolve beyond their normal human abilities, and at the same time catapulted Seraph Industries to the top of the Fortune 500. According to Seraph, Megan's kidnappers knew this and didn't want people evolving unless they controlled how it was done. He called his enemies Illuminati and urged me to keep searching. Determined to do so, I tracked down Sandoval via America's most outspoken augmentation opponent, Bill Taggart, Sandoval's boss and founder of Humanity Front. Sandoval admitted to operating on Megan's team when I confronted him, but said he hadn't removed their GPLs. He'd merely switched them to a different frequency. Pritchard was able to trace one of the signals to China. Malik and I immediately took off in pursuit. Unfortunately, the Illuminati were one step ahead.
Long recap. A lot of stuff happened in the other games.
Ambushed. Shot out of the sky by Bell Tower Associates, seconds after entering Hengsha's airspace. Malik's piloting skills saved me. After a tense and bitter struggle, I escaped into Lower Hengsha. The tracking signal I was following led straight to the Triads, or more specifically, to the augmented arm of Tong Si-hung, leader of a gang of augmentation harvesters. Tong said they'd taken the arm off a corpse, which Bell Tower had left at their door, meaning at least one of Seraph's scientists was dead. Maybe not the rest of them, though. Tong pointed me to a port used for human trafficking and helped me slip aboard a Bell Tower ship. We were sailing to Rifleman Bank Station, a military base in the South China Sea. Bell Tower was holding kidnapped civilians as prisoners there, and using them to perfect the Hyron Project, a human-computer interface that left most of its test subjects dead. My search for Megan would have ended then, if not for a mysterious ally named Quinn. In exchange for my help exposing Bell Tower, he slipped me aboard a second ship headed to Singapore.
Why so serious?
And an Illuminati-run biotech facility called Omega Ranch. 3 of Seraph's scientists were there, forced by their captors to create a technology capable
that in low quality.
of shutting down augmented abilities. Thanks to an emergency recall notice issued by the World Health Organization, millions of people all over the world already had the biochip installed. With the help of the scientists, I tracked Megan to a private section of the ranch. There, I ran into Yaron Namir, the walking tank who'd put a bullet in my brain the first time we met. He'd teamed up with Zhao and was hoping to catch me off guard. Their little ambush didn't work. I found Megan in a suite belonging to Hugh Darrow, the billionaire philanthropist who Seraph had called on for help. Darrow had convinced her to go along with the biochip plan by promising to sabotage the tech. As she was explaining this, Darrow appeared in a global broadcast, telling the world that augmentations would be the death of mankind. Then he activated the biochips to prove his point. All over the world, augmented people flew into a killing frenzy. Darrow had betrayed everyone, and it was up to me to set things right. To do it, I had to reach Panchaea, a massive installation in the Arctic Ocean. As I raced through corridors built by an all-augmented workforce, I saw death and destruction firsthand. By the time I shut down Darrow's broadcast, I knew the damage he'd done. Still, humanity's future remained unclear. How would the world react to this sabotage? Would people ever regain their faith in augmentations again? What would be the Illuminati's next move? Only time could give us the answers.
Finally. Sorry, I know that took so long. That's such a long intro, but... Okay, now there's a couple of different ways...
I could save the world. Now look at it.
In yet another augmented terror attack, 251 passengers aboard Sister Airlines Flight 451 were killed. When an augmented passenger broke into the plane's cockpit and ruthlessly butchered its flight crew. Details recovered from the black box recorder suggest that the man may have been suffering flashbacks to the AUG incident. That horrible day 2 years ago when augmented people all over the world flew into a psychotic killing spree, causing the greatest loss of life in recent history.
Sometimes you just have to let go and embrace what you've become.
Not gonna go all wonky on us now, Hansa, are you?
Well, if I do, McCready, I guarantee you'll never see it
Wait.
coming.
Agent Jensen! Am I gonna have a problem with you?
No, sir. No reason to assume you would.
Good, because you are the only augmented operative on this team, and I intend to make good use of you.
Listen up, all of you.
We got a sandstorm barreling down our arse and we can't afford to make mistakes. We're going after this man, an arms dealer named Shepard. He's ex-Bell Tower, one of the Special Forces commanders who disappeared during the incident.
And he's come out of hiding.
Ugly haircut.
It's not. He's selling weapons and military-grade augments to terrorists. This is Aran Singh, the undercover agent who lured Shepard out of his hole. Best you see Interpol's got. For 3 years he's worked hard to get in tight with the Jinn, an Iraqi smuggling cartel that's infected the Eastern Hemisphere like a plague. Last week, our arms dealer sent a message to the Jinn, offering to sell them a shitload of black market merchandise dirt cheap. They told Singh to handle the buy.
They're not gonna like it when Interpol disrupts that party. Is Singh's cover really that good?
It is right now. We need to keep it that way. This is where the deal's going down. A half-finished high-rise hotel that's been abandoned ever since the incident. It's not a pretty picture inside.
Let me guess. Most of the laborers were augmented with heavy-duty industrial rigs. So when the incident hit, and they all went schizo, things got gruesome real fast.
And no one, except for some homeless junkies, have been inside the place ever since.
What's the plan, Director?
Singh's meeting Shepard on the ground floor, inside the hotel's main atrium. He sent the bulk of his Jinn crew to the penthouse levels to secure a vantage point. I want McCready's team to take up positions overlooking the atrium and make the arrest. Jensen, you're going in solo from the roof.
My objectives?
Keep the Jinn from joining the party. As far as we can tell, only one route connects the atrium to the penthouse level, a halfway decent elevator shaft. Here. I want you to block access to it.
Fine. Just cut me loose.
Do you plan on relying solely on your augments for this one? I'd recommend taking a little hardware, just to be sure.
Okay, now there's two ways that you can beat all of these objectives. You can be lethal or non-lethal, sneaky or going guns blazing. So we'll do lethal for
I'm
this
not
game.
leaving my 6 exposed. Give me something lethal.
Your call, but Singh's undercover in all this.
So watch your fucking
Beep.
sights.
I'm
What
gonna bleep
about
out
range?
those.
There's lots of wide spaces and high ceilings in there, but a number of tight and constrained rooms too.
So it's a crapshoot, really.
Give me a...
Never was one to play the odds. Give me something I can use up close.
You got it. One last thing, Jensen. Singh said the Jinn are using some sort of portable Wi-Fi device to boost communications. He's got a better chance of maintaining cover if you disable it.
I'll keep an eye out for it. But aren't we on the clock here? You said there's a sandstorm moving in.
There is, and we got the intel on this mission at the very last minute. So we're scrambling a little. If it comes to it, your #1 priority is keeping the Jinn out of that atrium.
Copy that.
Time to put away your heavy thoughts, gentlemen. We're approaching the target building.
You're up first, Jensen. Let's do this.
Task Force action. This is Knife Leader. Engage Hush drives and descend to Angels 1-5.
Okay, now you saw it's, for whatever reason, locking frame rates at 30 for cutscenes. I don't know why that is, whether it's like a Steam thing, Rosetta 2 translation thing, I don't know. So we are in, again, we are 1080p, 60 frames a second on the camera. On my screen, I'm showing, let's see, 50 frames per second. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Give me.
Jensen, we're moving through. Oh,
Beep.
What's wrong?
the Jinn have got a few Jennies up and running. Gonna have to hack keypads.
You should enjoy it, McCready. They have colors and shapes. Just remember, red means bad.
Beep. Gosh, his mouth. Such a potty mouth. X. Alright, so in this game, Jensen, the protagonist from the guy we're playing, has a lot of augmentations. He's basically a powerhouse right now. He can use all of his augmentations. That eventually goes away, but wouldn't be much of a game if you were a god. Now wouldn't it be? So I was using my sight to kind of look and see where there's a weakness in the wall. We're gonna go through this door, and there are some guys on the other side. I can see that with my eye. I'm gonna go down here, turn on the generator to the door so we can get through. The door now has power. Oops. Let's crouch down through here. Okay, now there's multiple ways you can go to get to areas, so I could have went through here, but now there's wires and stuff down here. Whenever I turned on the power, it started electrocuting everything, so I had to go that way. There's multiple ways to beat a mission. You can be sneaky, you can be lethal, you can go through like little hidden areas like that, or you can try to go through doors. There's also hacking in this game. If I'd have known the code, I could put it in, but I don't, so we're gonna hack. The blue node right here is me. The green node is our end goal to unlock And the red node here is the antivirus software. As soon as I start trying to capture nodes to get to the end, the antivirus software is going to try to get me. Now, I can either race against time and get it, I can use antivirus software to block it out, or there's other software you can use to kind of keep yourself hidden so it doesn't detect you. Sometimes you can just rank up your skill tree and then be super good at hacking. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to do the tutorial.
I think that was the last one.
There we are.
Come on already! Keep up that one! Your destruction falls to me!
Let's reload real quick. Oh. Is that the last guy? Okay. Now, I could have went up here. If you see the little red skull, I could have gotten in proximity of him and I could have used a lethal takedown, or you'd have seen little yellow Z's like sleeping. I could have taken him out. Oops, did not mean to do that. I could have taken him out with non-lethal force. This will take. Yes, we will take. Screw pistols. Okay. Now I have the touch bar here, so I can go into my inventory for just a click of the touch bar, and then we will equip. Because I want this. Thank you. Alright. Oops, I didn't mean to go that way. Elevator. Now I have two objectives, one to find the guy at the end, and then the other one to turn off the Wi-Fi boosting signal thing, whatever he said it is.
Jensen, Mac, listen up. Doppler shows that sandstorm's moving in fast. It's big, and it's gonna hit us hard.
God, I hate the fucking desert. Confirm visual?
I can.
Now,
Time is not on our side.
Copy that.
Solid copy.
I'm going to pause it right here. If you like this and you want to see more, I will leave a link down, just comment. Let me know, please comment. If you want to see more. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. If you want to see more hardcore gaming and stuff like that, go follow my friend Crizzlepop. She is a fantastic gamer. She has a Twitch and she streams often. She's really cool. Go. I'll leave a link to her profile down in the description. But this right here is just showing the power of the M1, the new MacBook Pro 2021. If you have any doubts on Apple, or you have any doubts on them switching from Intel to their own Apple Silicon, this is just an example. You have nothing to worry about. I am recording 1080p video with a GoPro, playing a AAA title in HD. I'm doing it all right from my laptop, and it's quiet, it's cool, it's unbelievable, it's crazy. The next generation of this Apple M1 chip, which is coming out next year, is supposed to be double the performance in every way. No, Intel, you have some catching up to do. AMD, you're pretty close on their heels, but in a mobile processing world like this is just awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, just be a decent human being. Joshua out.